Yields back his time. Chair recognizes the gentleman from Wisconsin, Mr. Duffy, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, to respond to my colleague across the aisle about due process, all of us agree in due process. The conversation we're having today is not about due process. The conversation today is about the decision the administration made for the 5 Taliban members in exchange for Sergeant Bergdahl. That's the conversation. We all believe in due process. We're Americans. Mr. Waltz, I think it was you who indicated that you had a conversation about your country will never leave you behind, and I don't know if it was you or Specialist Full who had mentioned you thought it was that your country won't leave any honorable man behind. Was that Specialist Full? Was your comment?
Yes, it was.
Was Sergeant Bergdahl left behind?
No.
No.
He walked off on his own.
He left, right?
Yeah, he left.
So he wasn't left behind. He
left us behind.
Right. And Dr. Jacobson, you've indicated that the fight's not over, right? We're going to continue this fight. It's not over. The peace has not been declared with the Taliban. The fight continues.
That's correct, Congressman.
So with the war or the fight that's going to continue, it seems to me that you've made the argument that, well, we're all putting our arms down, the conflict is going to end. This exchange made sense. That's what we do. World War II, when the war's over, we put down our arms, we exchange our prisoners, and everyone's happy. But that's not this case, right?
Well,
in this case, you've said the fight will continue, and with the fight still going on, we took someone who allegedly walked away from his post in exchange for 5 high-level Taliban members. And the fight continues. Am I wrong on this?
The fight continued in Korea after the prisoner exchanges. The fight continued in World War II after the exchanges in 1944. The fight will continue in Afghanistan. My argument is that the risk of putting these 5 individuals on the battlefield is mitigated by a number of factors, to include all the accomplishments that we have seen in Afghanistan over the past several years.
I'll get to the risk in a second, but in regard to those the prior swaps that have been made, those swaps have been made with nation states, correct? Do you have an example where we've had swaps with a non-nation state before this one?
The examples I have, and you term this a swap, but the examples I have of negotiation with non-nation states.
I'm talking about a swap where we've exchanged prisoners with a non-nation state. Or better yet, for a deserter, if that's what the military finds him to be.
The closest thing I can think of is after the Battle of Mogadishu and the negotiations to get back Chief Warrant Officer Michael Durant.
But not with, we don't have a prior example of a swap with a non-nation state. This is
well, that was with Mohammed Farad Aidid, who is not a nation state.
In regard to the threat that this now poses, I listened to Mr. Andrews talk about his son and how he may hope that he would be able to make that exchange to bring his own son back. I think every heart breaks in here thinking about what his family has gone through and the sacrifice that his son made for his country. Do you feel pretty comfortable that with these 5 Taliban members released, that we won't have another hearing like this of another American family who lost a son or a daughter who's over fighting on behalf of their country because of these 5 that were released? Or do you feel pretty comfortable that America is a safer place and our men and women are safer in those foreign lands?
Our men and women who put on a uniform are always at risk, regardless of what happened or will happen.
That's not my question. I'm talking about the 5 that were released.
I'm comfortable with the judgment that was made by our military leaders that all the risks involved, the risk of potentially these individuals ending back up on the battlefield, the risks of not getting Bergdahl, I'm comfortable that the assessment they made and the recommendations they made are the right one.
I would disagree, sir. Mr. Walls, I think you said the Taliban got their top 5 draft picks in exchange for Sergeant Bergdahl.
Yes, sir.
Good trade?
Absolutely not.
I yield back.